We're back at the Ann Arbor District Library because there's new hyperlocal drama, and this time it involves a lawsuit.
And yes, it still involves this parking lot, also known as the library lot. On July 14th, a lawsuit was filed against the city of Ann Arbor about Proposition A and B, even though voting for those propositions is already underway for the August 5th election. To recap, Proposition A and B allows the city of Ann Arbor to sell the air rights of this parking lot to the Ann Arbor District Library for $1, and it repeals the 2018 charter amendment that keeps this park a parking lot in perpetuity. That 2018 charter amendment was put forth by an organization called the Library Green Conservancy, which promised to privately fund this park and turn it into a park, but 7 years later, it is still a parking lot. The downtown library, which is over capacity and needs an accessible ADA compliant building, has the opportunity to build on both their current lot and the library lot, this parking lot. And that is what we're voting on August 5th. Now, the deal with the lawsuit is basically that the charter language and the ballot language say two different things and therefore are misleading voters. The city charter does not include what the library will do with those air rights. Why is that? I'm no lawyer, but here's what I do know. The city charter, which is kind of like Ann Arbor's constitution, can't obligate the library to do anything. And that's because the Ann Arbor District Library is its own governmental entity under Michigan state law. They are, quote, autonomous and do not answer to a governing municipal authority. So the Ann Arbor City Charter does not include directives about what the library is to do with the air rights because it can't. The ballot language is more explicit about what the library intends to do with those air rights in order to provide clarity to voters. Proposition A and B represent the city and the library finding a creative solution to a dead space in town that doesn't cost the taxpayers any extra money because the whole initiative is going to be funded by the housing that will be built on top of the new library. How do we know the library isn't going to bait and switch us? They won't. Reputationally, it doesn't help them to bait and switch the public on this issue. It doesn't help to promise one thing and deliver another. And also, it goes against everything we know about the library, which is that they're very capable of delivering renovations and new builds on time and under budget, to run major, huge event spaces, and to reinvest in the library and to reinvest in the community. Also, library leadership is democratically elected, so accountability is built into this entire process. Speaking of questioning people's intentions, who's behind this lawsuit? If you guessed an out-of-town property owner who owns a $600,000 condo in a building adjacent to the library lot, you're correct. They own a condo in this building. Library lot, library, building. The two defendants behind the lawsuit are Ann Arbor resident Linda Asher and Oakland County resident Danielle McCluskey-Shink, who owns a property in this condo behind me. So I'm going to call it as I see it. This lawsuit is a last-ditch effort to block a creative and community-driven solution to revitalize this dead parking lot by an out-of-town property owner under the guise of caring about the integrity of the city charter, the Ann Arbor District Library, and our elections. But really, they're more concerned about losing their view.
Early voting for Proposition A and B starts July 30th at these locations.